Ángel, what compelled you to make the movie, and what do you plan on doing with that? What is the vision for the movie?
What drove me to do the movie was mainly, I come from Puerto Rico, and usually the U.S. is seen as the land of the free, and the government will do anything to protect its people. And when I heard this story, it was completely the opposite. There's a law that gives you the choice of having an abortion, but if you decide to back off, it doesn't protect you. So when that whole thing just struck me as odd, so I've always been driven to interest on human rights issues. In Puerto Rico, a lot of injustice happens all the time by the U.S., by Puerto Ricans themselves, and so that drove me to figure out if there was something else, because it wasn't just like I said in the beginning, it wasn't just abortion, the act of abortion that drove me to make the film. It was more if it's her choice to keep the baby, then the government should assist her on having the baby. So it was that situation that drove me. And also, the baby came out alive, and if it's alive, it has all the rights of a human. So why were they not given to him? So that's what drove me to make the film. What I plan to do with the film, I would love to make a feature length, like a more complex, detailed. There's a lot of there's more story to it. This is just like the last 24 hours, but there's a good story behind it that I would love to make into a feature length. And just like Uncle Tom's Cabin helped end slavery, I believe that a movie can help end abortion. So that's my goal.
Yes, hi. I'm very happy that I was able to make it out here. I'm a physician. My name is John Littel. I'm from Kissimmee, and I'm a family physician that takes care of obstetrical patients as well. And I want to just reflect just real briefly on one of the first comments you made, which was about the lies that women have to deal with, because I really fear that that's what's happened in healthcare over the last several decades, is that women more and more are being told lies. And it's not enough for physicians to be pro-life, or as a matter of fact, it's not enough for any of us in this room to be pro-life anymore. We have to be passionately pro-life. Because I have many friends who are physicians who are pro-life, but they don't feel it's their place to discuss anything about a baby with a woman who comes in with a crisis pregnancy. They don't want to offend that woman's sensibilities. And we are, in fact, told in medical school, and I was in D.C. in 1980s learning at George Washington, we were told to check out any ethical principles we had and always err on the side of the patient's autonomy. That was the big, major principle in medical ethics that I learned at George Washington University, was the autonomy of the patient. And it's gotten so bad that, as our new president promised Planned Parenthood, one of the first things he wants to sign into legislature is the Freedom of Choice Act, I believe, and I know Mr. Pembroke could comment maybe on that, but this amendment or act would preclude or prohibit doctors like myself from counseling women about any alternatives to abortion or birth control. I could lose my license, and I will share with you that I've been literally run out of 2 towns in Montana and in Michigan because of being passionately pro-life and differing with obstetricians, and I was recruited to Florida because there were pro-life physicians who needed another doctor to help them fight this fight. So just realize, and just one other quick story, a physician friend of mine in Michigan who was a seminarian in a Catholic seminary at one point, was studying for the priesthood, and is a wonderful fellow named Jack. I've written a chapter in his textbook on family medicine. A chapter that I wrote was on natural family planning, In the newest edition, he put in a chapter on how to do abortions for family physicians. And when I called Jack and said, why did you include that chapter? He said, John, we've got to kind of get with the times. This is a free society. And I said, what are you thinking here? And I said, don't put my chapter in that book. You know, but this is where his head is, and this is where your physicians' heads are. And I'm just going to say to you that don't satisfy yourselves with physicians who are just pro-life. They need to be passionately pro-life if they're going to take care of your babies, your children's babies, or any of you here. I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you. And if you have any medical questions, I'm here to, but I'm mostly here to listen. Thank you.